All right, here we are, Laguna Beach, Peter Kell. So I want to start with an interesting question for you. Do you think there's like a correlation between people who skateboarded as a kid to people who find success in internet entrepreneurship? Because I see a lot of entrepreneurs in the internet space, like yourself, who grew up skateboarding a lot.
Yeah, well, anyone who skateboards is somebody who is pro high risk behavior, and anyone who is in business is also pro high risk behavior. And if you're a good skateboarder, you kind of keep up with it. But I can tell you, there's a lot of skateboarders that never get past skateboarding.
Yeah.
Because you are who your friends are, and a lot of them aren't really, down to do any of those other things, and they get stuck in the little zone. But anyone who becomes a great skateboarder can become a great businessman, that's for sure.
Yeah, I never heard that perspective before. I've always thought like, no, I used to try tricks over and over and over and over and over again. And I feel like, especially when I started like dropshipping or you with your businesses, you try businesses over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Knowing you'll make it one day. But I think that skateboarding, that psychology that it teaches to kids at an early age is like you could really like harm yourself doing this so many times, but it's all worth it for that one land.
And if you're into doing dope shit,
Yeah.
like doing crazy stuff,
Yeah.
there's nothing crazier than starting a business, trying to get rich.
100%. Well, I was introduced to you, like you're known as like the VSL god. That's how I was originally like introduced to you.
It was given to me, yes.
It was given to you. How did that even come about? Because I know you started in a skincare business, correct?
Well, I started as an affiliate marketer. I started in my parents' basement in the woods trying to make money on the internet.
And where was that at?
It was in Lake Arrowhead, a Big Bear.
Oh, okay. So you're from California.
From over here.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I didn't want to go to VSLs. I just, in my parents' basement, how to make money on the internet, starting a bunch of businesses. I would love to have a dope supercar young guy life. That would be great.
And you were 21 at the
I
time?
was 21, failed 7 companies in a row. Thought, what do? I got to learn the skills. I don't have enough skills. So I read all these books on sales and marketing and psychology. And then I hit this like glass ceiling. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a barrier that's like a plateau or something. So I read all these books on the subconscious mind. And then all of a sudden life just felt like it was falling apart. And then I get into spirituality. And that was the last shit that I had to learn before I took off with spirituality.
Wait, this is all by the time you're 21?
No, this was like from 21 to 25.
Oh,
It
okay.
was like 4 years, 7 failed companies, just grind for 4 years.
Mhm.
For stuff.
Okay, I see. So I want to take it back before you're
Yeah.
21. I know that, like I was saying, you were a big skateboarder. And
Yeah.
your dreams originally were to become a professional skateboarder.
Yeah.
And so how did you end up in your parents' basement at 21?
I worked at a skateboard shop. They said, do what you love with your life. I love skateboarding. I definitely didn't love any of the jobs they gave me in high school, told me I could be the careers I could have. I thought college, I was a D student, so I assumed college would never take me. No one would ever give me money. I didn't know that was a huge scam.
So you didn't go to college at all?
I went to Saddleback for 3 months, and I just thought it was the stupidest thing. So
Yeah.
I just dropped out. And then, got a job as a skateboarder and traveled a little bit doing skateboarding. It was downhill, so it wasn't like a super professional, like Ryan Sheckler type of skateboarding.
Right.
It was like bombing hills, which is a very niche
Mhm.
kind of thing with not a huge, opportunity there. And then one day I go to my dream event called Mary Hill. It's this huge event out in Washington. I'm on this bus with all my like heroes I admire. And I'm like sleeping on floors. I've been sleeping on floors for the past 2 years. My car was exploding. My girlfriend, I was going like, eh. And then the guy that I admired was sleeping on the floor next to me at this event. And I was like, it just kind of hit me, bro. Like, this is who I want to be in 5 years, and he's sleeping on the floor just like me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Who were some of the skateboarders? Like,
there was a guy named James Kelly, who was just savage, 65 mile an hour power slide kind of guy, standing up, just insanely fucking wild.
oh, interesting. So your niche was specifically downhill bombing?
Downhill bombing.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, power slide. He's got the gloves on your hands. You're racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw an event in San Francisco. I think they have it every year. Unbelievable. I cannot believe the types of speed those kids are going. And then they'll like hit an ambulance or something at the bottom sometimes.
It's fun. It's kind of like snowboarding. You're flying, and the way you power slide has a really cool feeling of freedom and peace.
Yeah.
And the speed is wild, and the racing is very competitive. So it's super fun.
So it was that event where you're like, I got to do something else.
Yeah, I got to get out of this. I was also like, I used to call myself like retarded, for example. So I like doing ridiculous things.
Mm.
And then I was really interested in this idea of like, what happens if I just read 200 books just to be hilarious and be retarded. Right?
Like within a year?
Just like, I don't know when I just read them.
Oh, just in
Right?
Okay.
Just go, just read them, read 200 books just to see what happens.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
And so basically you stopped skateboarding, you went and started the book journey essentially.
Well, I mean, that was just the idea. I wasn't into books until a little later on, but I was just had to give up on the dream and just move into the parents' basement with my tails in place. What? And I was 45 minutes away from the closest bar with any girls. I was just stranded, alone, sad, depressed, sit in bed all day long, do anything, no purpose, no hope.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. When I dropped out of college, like I went straight to my parents' basement. And I hated the house I grew up in. It was like very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I was in my basement. I'm like, I gotta do something. I think that pressure like creates like a need to do it. And what I realized is like I've noticed a lot of kids who grew up in very comfortable environments, say like super wealthy families, they never have that pressure. So that pressure never comes. It's like what do they say about the seed? The seed has so much pressure and then it sprouts. Pressure creates diamonds and all that.
Yeah.
So like I can definitely relate. It's this like horrible feeling right there, but at least we had something to run from. If you don't have, you can run towards stuff and that's great, but if you also have something to run from, you're already moving essentially.
Yeah, that was the foundation of the burning desire, right? It's when your why becomes so fucking great that you will do absolutely anything and work any length and commit your whole fucking life and soul to making this happen. And for me, I was so frustrated that my early 20s were so shitty because I was in this basement for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the most valuable part. 21 years old, just out of high school or whatever, like.
Well, and I'm sure you've seen all your friends, like some of your friends in college,
they're
like partying and having
they're
a
getting
great
girls,
time.
they're getting smarter. I'm in a basement, not getting girls and being dumber by the day.
Yeah.
Right? It was painful. And then it was like, well, if I could be rich by the time I'm 27, that would be worth it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a slow realization of that idea.
Interesting. So that's when you got into affiliate marketing, right?
That's when I was like, let's make money on the internet. Right?
And what year was this? When you were 21?
This is maybe 13 years ago. 21. Yeah, started out. My parents had a small website design company, so they would do SEO and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was cool, them being entrepreneurial. So it was easy for me to like not think about getting a job and just start trying to make money on the internet.
So what was affiliate marketing like back then?
Oh, I had no money to do anything. Right. So it was just, I would do all these businesses that were like free traffic based, trying to generate leads, trying to do SEO, everything that wasn't like paid advertising. And, but I wouldn't barely make anything. Failed like 7 businesses trying to do stuff and not making any work. I was like legitimately a skateboarder who was clueless.
Right.
So it's not like stuff came easy to me at all. Just constantly failing.
And when you say 7 businesses, do you mean like 7 affiliate businesses, or were you like actually trying to launch businesses with no money?
Actually trying to launch businesses with no money. I mean, we had an SEO business. We started doing lead generation for roofers based on SEO. So we make these like roofers in Dallas, Texas, website, lead generation, right? Call up people, do that. We had a mobile website development company where we found these Indian people that would make websites when we're trying to sell them to restaurants and stuff like that. Mobile websites, did one of those. I started a Wi-Fi router thing where I was like white labeling these Wi-Fi routers going into restaurants and fucking trying to like sell them that for a couple bucks a month.
Interesting.
Until like I figure out that the Wi-Fi is like in the roof, it's behind the attic, and I'm crawling through fucking attics to like plug a Wi-Fi router into a fucking dusty thing. I'm like, this sucks balls. And then, I had a lead generation company for rehab centers. So I get my first, like, doing radio ads. I had the client pay me money, so I would generate leads to get them in the rehab centers. And then my first client overdoses on heroin and dies. So it's all these, like, random things.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to get in. And slowly discovering, like, I got to be on the right seat on the right bus. And also, I'm not smart enough to do this on my own. I need to go stop trying to do my own business and start trying to be an apprentice to a master.
Interesting.
That was like,
and so that like you basically learned what not to do 7 times.
that was like the biggest mistake I made while trying to start my own business was actually trying to start my own business.
Yeah.
That was the worst idea. Just don't do that. Like do not do it anymore. You must become an apprentice.
So what was different about number 8?
Well, number 8, I had pivoted to I had a lot of clarity by then on what skill set I had to be great at, right? By then, it was like media buying.
Okay.
I had to be great at Facebook ads. Hey, yeah, that was it. But I didn't have any money to play the game. So I'm thinking about like, I can't even play the game. I can't even turn the Xbox on.
Right.
I'm like, I can't afford to turn the Xbox on over here. Try to be great at this game. So I got a job as a media buyer at this affiliate network. That was like kind of it. I started looking for jobs where somebody else would let me spend their money and I would be in the seat in the right place and play the game. So that was, I got a job at a place called XY7 Elite, maybe 8 years ago now. And That wasn't a very good place. They're kind of like low level e-buyers or whatever, kind of low stuff. But I started this mastermind group where I was trying to gather people who are all making $1,000 a day. And then through that group, I met my mentors who really just fucking, that was it. That was the tipping point.
And so you started the group.
Yeah.
That's crazy because that's exactly what Mr. Beast did. He said,
Yes, same story.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He got anyone who was like, first of all, about YouTube, but also find success. And he said, like, it cut the mistakes and learning curve down
Yes.
tremendously because you were all making, it was a collective mistake when one person made a mistake because you all learned from that mistake.
Yeah, my skills exploded. I mean, I had not, my goal was to make $1,000 a day. 3 months after starting that group, I made $1,000.
Yeah.
It was just, my skills were exploding off the line.
And there's nothing like that for $1,000 a day.
No, that was mind blowing. I remember that I have a picture of me looking in the mirror, just being like, ooh.
Yeah.
For $1,000 a day, right? After 4 years, it fucking adds up and it explodes.
Yeah. Like I've always known something about that $1,000 per day. Like no matter what you hit past that, that is like the mecca. I mean, that's my most memorable moment personally because I think doing that made me realize like, oh, I may never have to like, work for anybody ever again in my entire like this is actually working $1,000 a day. It's like then $10,000 a day just doesn't feel the same as that $1,000.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's infinite scalability.
That's true. You know, I mean, that's way more burned. I mean, it was because of the pain I went through to get there.
Mhm.
Right. I think it was only after the $1,000 a day it was less than 2 years to have our first $100,000 a day.
Yeah.
So it was, but that wasn't as painful. Like, that was actually nice when 100,000.
Right. Right.
It was like dying for 4 years to make
Yeah.
it. Right? So yeah, it's a big milestone when you pass that.
And this podcast is also brought to you by AutoDS. AutoDS is one of the industry leaders in all dropshipping fulfillment tools, but they take it a whole lot of steps further. Not only can you get dropshipping time down to 2 to 3 business days, you also get so many more tools. Because AutoDS is one of the biggest dropshipping softwares in the world, they've implemented a product research tool that tracks all their analytics, all their orders, and then you can use that data to find your own winning products and see where the trends are going, or even use a product that you know is selling really well right now. They have a TikTok ad spy tool built in, so you can even look deep into the TikTok ad side of things for all your product research needs. And all of it is automated. Gone are the days where you need like a VA going around and fulfilling these orders for you. AutoDS, it is completely automated. Not even just the orders, but also the tracking updates and the returns. All of that is taken care of by them. They already have a lineup of 500 million products you can choose from. It sounds like a joke, but that's an actual truth. But I think what really makes them stand out is all their worldwide suppliers that they're connected to. Because most softwares are just like AliExpress and their own suppliers, but these guys are, you know, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Costco, Target, Overstock, Lowe's, and so many more. AutoDS is truly the all-in-one tool you need for all your dropshipping needs. So if you'd like to test it out, go to the link in the description below. You'll get a special deal through my link. Whether you're brand new at dropshipping or an experienced dropshipper, definitely check these guys out. Now back to the podcast.
And when you're hitting those numbers, was that you doing the media buying for other companies?
No, so affiliate marketing, I mean, we were just gathering affiliate links off the internet for like e-commerce products or whatever, supplements.
And
And
what was the big website back then for that, like ClickBank?
no, ClickBank was the big one that everybody kind of knew about. But when you were deeper down the rabbit hole, there was all these other affiliate networks. So some of the big ones are like Direct Focus Online, DFO. They have like, you know, solid e-com products and landing pages built out for you. They just give you a link and they can do super high volume. There's companies called Square Dance. There's a company called MaxWeb. They just did Store 24 today. Those are all big ClickBank style people. That's not as like mainstream as ClickBank.
I see. Did you learn that from these groups you're making?
Well, my mentors.
Really? Okay.
I met these mentors while I was in my group. I cracked a campaign selling brain supplements, nootropics. That was working on Rev content, making editorials and stuff like that. And these guys were like, "Yo, you should come work for us." And we do Facebook ads at a super big level.
What were you doing before that?
I was doing native ads, so Rev content. I was doing like Taboola, Outbrain style stuff, where I would do little pictures, and it would be on like FoxNews.com, recommended article.
I've seen
Brain supplement takes the nation by storm, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you were that guy.
Wow, there's a lot of us. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And finding out what websites those work on stuff. I don't like native ads, but some people crush it on huge way. Yeah.
Still to this day.
Yeah, I mean,
Damn.
native is absolutely huge. I mean, you're on FoxNews.com, you're on MSN.com, you're on like all these huge spots.
Yeah.
There's some serious killers that do native ads.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so eventually that rolled over, correct? Because you started.
Pivoted to Facebook. And Facebook was the real mecca of traffic. And then that was the real, like, here's how you advertise. You have to make a video for Facebook.
Yeah.
Right? It's your one job.
Yeah. And what about YouTube ads? Like, were you involved with that as well?
Not until later on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was YouTube. It was Facebook. I was like signed up to Snapchat ads the day that it opened.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was crazy. 3-cent clicks, 3-cent swipe ups.
What year was that?
Oh, that was when I was 26 or 27 years old, I think. So that was like 5 years ago, I think. Yeah, that was just like it. Because I had these mentors that crushed it on Facebook super hard, but they told me this story about this old traffic site that was down called My Likes. That used to be around like in the MySpace area.
Oh, wow.
And they said that they would advertise on this page and nobody knew about it. It was a secret little traffic source that they were able to advertise on. Nobody knew about it. And they just made $5,000 profit every day for a fucking year. Right. And I was just, oh yeah, okay. New traffic sources, right? Keep an eye out for new opportunities that pop up. Try to be first to capitalize on those.
Yeah.
So when I heard Snapchat was launching that, I was like, I'm chopping my lips for all these campaigns ready to go.
Right. Yeah, because I heard like the early days of Facebook ads and YouTube ads were just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ty Lopez was talking about how
Yeah. The ice store is crazy.
that 67 steps thing.
Yeah.
I think it was when he launched that here in my garage
Mhm.
thing. He launched it and then he went and gave like a 2-hour seminar. Like right after he launched it, he kept hearing his business partner laughing in the background. And when he got out, he was like, "What the fuck, man? Like, what were you laughing at?" He goes, "In that 2 hours, we made $250,000."
Wow.
And so, like, I mean, and he was telling us other stuff about the early days of Facebook ads. Were just like he was in the beta group for the actual Facebook ads, and he was just getting the craziest return on ads like that has ever been seen.
Yeah.
So that's really good advice. Like, because when TikTok ads came out, like that was like first to market. Always keeping an eye on the first to market sort of thing.
Yeah, that's like, those are cool opportunities for sure. At the end of the day, for me though, I was just Facebook ads, YouTube ads, right? That was it. You know, it's the Snapchat thing was big, and then they like tightened up restrictions.
So I heard.
So I went back to like Facebook super hard, but I've also heard some guys question Snapchat today also.
Yeah,
So it's like, there's always something that works. Just gotta have a slide tool to see what's working.
100%. They're planning some new stuff too for Q4. I'd like to get into your skincare brand.
Yeah, sure.
So did you start that skincare brand?
Yeah, so when you're an affiliate, the proper way to exit the affiliate game, which you must exit one day, because it's kind of like a stepping stone, is when you crack a big campaign. I was doing all these different affiliate products, but I had all these affiliates that were ripping my stuff and stealing my campaigns. So we started looking for exclusive deals, and we found this skincare brand that was like had a dope, unique mechanism and had all the secrets I was looking for in a big VSL campaign. And we partnered with them. We shot a VSL. It worked really well. And then 2 weeks later, they told us to stop and pause because they wanted to do Facebook, and they kind of like kicked us off.
Like they want to do it themselves?
They like saw how much money they were making and told us to stop.
Oh, okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
I was stupid. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right? And then how they were running their skincare brand, I was like, dude, if I fucking ran this, I would do it way better. In terms of like, I would make the VSL, I would have a way more legit dermatologist. I would have a way more professional VSL shoot. Right? I was kind of scrappily putting videos together just from editing. And then, but if I were to do this world class, it would be better. And I had a campaign as an affiliate that was getting like $30,000 a day. So I would spend $20K. I would get 30 grand in affiliate sales. So that's like 10K profit in a day. We were running that. And then I called up my friend who owned this pillow company. I was like, bro, because I was blocked by, I only knew how to do the campaigns. I didn't know how to create the product, manufacturing. I didn't know all that other business stuff, mids and stuff like that. And so I called my buddy who owned a pillow company. I was like, bro, fuck the pillows. I got a skincare campaign. This thing's going to blow. I want to make this professional. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And we just built it out. And during that time, COVID hit. I got really lucky with just all the women freaking out, getting stressed out, worried about their age. They're all terrified of how they look before they die. Right? And they just all go ham on skincare.
Yeah.
Right? When I'm launching this VSL campaign. And it just explodes. My ROA shoots up crazily. We're immediately doing 100 grand a day once we get our PO in for all the inventory that we ordered 2 months before. And it was just super, super cool.
Wait, I apologize. I didn't catch that. So you were affiliate for the skincare company.
Yeah.
And then you went and made your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because life in this game revolves around your advertising.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even have a business. Your business is your ad campaign.
Right.
Right? It really is. You're creating a situation where you're putting in 10 grand, getting 20 grand back. Right? So you start at 100 and get 200 back or whatever. And if you need to scale that, that is your cash machine. And then as you become more advanced and more skilled, then you realize that, well, if you sell amazing, amazing products, then people will buy more down the line. And then you have this email list that's worth crazy amounts of money that actually produces crazy amounts of profit in the day. So, and then now you're building a brand that you can sell too. So that's kind of that way.
And you did eventually sell it.
Yeah, I sold it to my business partner a year later.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I heard that in that 1 year from starting to 12 months, you did 40 million.
Yeah, it was a bag.
Unbelievable.
Right. So it was, we were putting in 80 grand and getting 160 grand back. Right before.
Every day?
We did 100 grand a day every day for over 8 months in a row.
Jesus.
Right? Over 100 grand a day. Even doing 100 grand a day, 365 is still 36 million. It's not even 40 million. It's not even 40. Right? You're not even there yet.
Yeah.
So, no, we had 200 grand days, 160 grand a days all the time, like clockwork. I mean, we would spend $2 million a month on ads and get 4 million back sometimes.
That's interesting because there's a lot of skincare brands out there, but what you're saying is like it basically really does come down to the marketing.
Yeah,
It
100%.
all comes down to the marketing. I've always wondered that because I'm like, how many fucking skincare brands are there? Like, how many supplement brands, all this,
Yeah.
but that marketing.
Doesn't it? Right. All the competition is a green light to be like, oh my God, look at all of these healthy businesses. Maybe if I go in here, I will also be a healthy business. I want to be a successful business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people are like, oh, this is too crowded. I don't want to do it. When the opposite is true. If it's too crowded, it's what's working.
Right.
Do it. Versus, oh, there's no competition here. That's because everyone's dead.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was talking to.
It's not because you're smart, you figured it out, bro.
Right.
There's a lot of people on this planet. They're all
Exactly.
dead.
Exactly. That's exactly what Logan was telling me. Man who owns Physician's Choice. He was saying that's one thing I was shocked when I told him. I'm like, probiotics have been around for so many decades. Like,
Yeah.
why did you want to get in 2017? Like, he only started that like 7 years ago,
Great.
and he just like destroyed all these massive brands. The only one above him right now is Nestle. And he's like, I think we're going to overtake Nestle this year.
Oh, wow.
And it's all, like he said, all in the marketing and the team behind the marketing.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I mean, people that buy supplements, then they forget why they bought them, and they need somebody else to show up to inspire them to buy them again.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of it.
Or they get really motivated and they're like, okay, I'll do a monthly recurring. And then it's on that monthly
That's
recurring.
it. You convince them that, hey, the best results happen after 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So let's get you 6 bottles.
Yeah. I actually learned that recently. Like, I was talking to ChatGPT the other day, and he was like, call him Alex, actually. I named
What's up, Alex?
ChatGPT. Like, hey, Alex, I heard that supplements take like a long time to have any effectiveness. And he said like herbal supplements can take anywhere between like 2 to 6 months for you to like feel any difference at all,
Oh, wow.
or to have any difference into the body. And I think like medication, I don't know. I don't want to speak too deeply on it, but yeah, that's just something I heard because I know I hate to bring up Ty again, but like Ty said it takes like 6 years to feel any difference. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so you sold that company and then didn't you go traveling like a ton?
That was it. So I was like, what am I doing living in Denver now? Right?
Oh, you're in Denver.
I was in Denver then.
Yeah, interesting.
I started it in Miami and then we moved to Denver because I wanted to live. We wanted to hire cooler people and wanted to try Denver.
Which part of Denver?
I lived in Sloan's Lake and we had an office in Cherry.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
What a combo.
That was great.
Yeah.
I'm going in between every day.
Oh, yeah.
The best. Right?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Bunch of Amex points from all that spends. We go to the Four Seasons,
I
stay
can't
there
imagine.
every weekend. Every weekend it was a weekend of Four Seasons, right? Just
That's
taking a girl up. Amazing.
the 2 guys I'm here with, they live at the Four Seasons.
Oh,
I go there once. That's a cool spot.
that's a great spot to live.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Um,
So that was it. I sold all my stuff, sold my cars, put it into a storage unit, and started traveling. Went to Stockholm, Sweden, to start just being about.
solid place to go.
My plan was to take all this money and invest it into the crypto bull run, so that I could, get like jet money and stuff like
What
that.
year is this?
This was 2021, maybe.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Like late 2020?
This is the second boom after the 2017 or
Yeah.
2017. There's second boom, so it was just starting to pick up, and I was like, I had done this first boom pretty hard, so I had a lot of experience.
Mhm.
And
And what month specifically was this in 2021?
I can't.
Was it cold out?
I mean, Stockholm.
Oh, yeah, right. You're in Stockholm at the time. I guess when you when you sold the business,
It was right before. I mean, it was maybe like 2 months before the first crash. In the second, because there was 2 crashes that went up and then crashed and then went back up
right.
and then crashed.
Okay, so it was that summer.
Yeah, it was. I was in a good time.
Got
right?
it. Yeah.
I had just sold this NFT that I had bought in 4 years before that for like a bunch of money.
Damn.
And
Which NFT?
it was called the Homer Pepe.
Interesting.
It was just like this. Like it was, dude. I've had so many like moments of missing huge amounts of money. I was at the world's first auction 4 years ago on NFTs. It wasn't even called NFTs. It was like digital art. It was back in 2017, and they were selling
Really?
CryptoPunks for $200.
Oh my God.
$200. They had like 10 of them, right? And I was like, I don't want that stupid shit. I'm going to buy the most expensive thing in here.
Yeah.
It's like $39,000, and there's a picture of Homer Simpson. So I win this bidding war to buy it. And then, but it turns out that was called a rare Pepe, and that was the original NFT, but it was built on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Wow.
So the CryptoPunks were the first one built on the Ethereum blockchain.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
that makes sense.
that worked on OpenSea. Nobody knew what the fuck I bought. It was through Dinosaur.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like so that was like a long thing. But anyway, I had a lot of experience with all that stuff, and I was like, I had a good idea on what I could do and make it successful. It didn't turn out good. It's the opposite of that.
Yeah, trust me, I'm there with you. I started making more money than I ever had, specifically starting October 2021. I'm like, oh, I got to pour all this in crypto.
Yeah, this
And
is
then
it.
2022, I got some PTSD from that FTX crash and all that. I'm like,
You were in there?
oh yeah, I wasn't in FTX, luckily,
Oh.
but I was heavily in the market.
Yeah.
Like I was like 90% in the market.
Like we should.
When the crash happened. And I'm listening to money Twitter and they're like, this is buy. And I'm like, well,
Well,
I was thinking, I'm like, man, if this drops below 50, I think it's probably a good idea to sell. And I'm just like, watch it go all the way down to 16. But I'm in mostly alt, so I'm like getting every day I'm waking up. I don't want to look at my phone.
yeah, but
And I'm like, well, at least it can't be as worse as yesterday, and it's worse than yesterday.
it gets real bad. It'll really take a turn.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I don't like about crypto is like when I build sites or do affiliate marketing or run ads and stuff, it's on me to control it. That, like, I guess the only control is I hope I buy it and I hope whatever team or the market does goes well. And that's what I don't like not having any control.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I found out real quick that my timing ability is horrifically bad. I'm a world-class creator and leader, but timing, no. Investing, no. Yeah, I'm like a bull just trying to shop.
Yeah.
Trying to like strategically. It's just the worst. The same skill set that makes you the money, which is high risk taking behavior, is the same skills that lose all the money.
100%.
So that's the problem. You get all these
Well
habitual,
said.
this worked really well for me. You go to crypto, it's destroyed.
This podcast is brought to you by Dropshipping.ai. That means this podcast is brought to you by myself. This is my website. This website is completely free for everybody. I don't want your money now or later. This is not some funnel. This is completely free. You get a free dropshipping store built by AI. You get free products chosen by AI, and you get a free course on how to use AI to dropship in the modern day era. AI has changed every industry. Everybody knows that, and dropshipping is not excluded. We have the most relevant, most powerful, most up-to-date information specifically tailored to dropshipping and AI fusion that we're seeing right now. And like I said before, this is completely free. I'm one of Shopify's top affiliates in the entire world. In fact, I was awarded top Shopify affiliate in North America. So they pay me to give you guys this for free. It's a beautiful cycle called the cycle of life. So if you want to support yourself and support this podcast and support me, go to dropshipping.ai, claim that store, claim those products, claim that course, and let's get back to the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that 27 bull run because that's when I was Uber driving out here. And I remember I picked up this lady and I was driving around and she said something about crypto. I'm like, what is that? And she goes, you never heard of Bitcoin? I'm like, no. And she showed me this app. She's like, yeah, I'm going to meet these guys right now. I'm good friends with them out in France and we're going to party on their yacht or something. And she would like put money in it. It was like one of those apps where it was like giving you like 30% returns.
Oh,
But then the crash happened like 2 months later and I found that these guys like ran away with like $880 million and they were like hiding out in like a
Jesus.
yeah, and like one of those countries where they can't extradite you. And it was like a horrific scene. So I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what crypto is. Because I remember in 2017, that's when I started making a bunch of money with dropshipping. And it was like a month after starting dropshipping, and I had like $10,000 lying around. I'm like, I think I should put it all into crypto. But it was Bitcoin was at, I remember that day because Bitcoin was at 19,000.
Yeah.
I think Ethereum was like what did it hit like 1,700.
Oh,
And I was,
Yeah.
and I went
that was
to,
17?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this November, December.
Yeah, it's right as the crash. It's January it crashed, yeah.
And I'll never forget, I went to click invest and like put all the money in and it said like some error happened and I just panicked and closed out. And then the next day I
It's a sign.
like 10%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, thank God. But that's it. So that's interesting. Like, did you get into crypto before even 2017? Like, had you?
Yeah, no, I was living in the Caribbean after I met my mentors and things blew up. and we were sending a lot of wires, and I was like, why the fuck can't I send a wire on a weekend? Like, why does it take so long for wires to even get somewhere? It's the internet, right? Emails, wires, what's up? So I felt like there was some bullshit in the banking system on like outdated stuff. So
100%.
Bitcoin made sense to me. Crypto made sense to me.
And what year was that?
This was mid 2016.
Gotcha.
And then so when I had, and then we got hit by a hurricane, moved to Florida, and then I started cracking some big VSL campaigns. And during that, crypto was booming, and I was like, all right, let's go. So we had a good run up before we lost it all. So,
It seems to be the repeating cycle right
Yeah.
there.
yeah, it was close. I had I had a huge fucking month. I had a campaign selling foot insoles that blew up. My first big VSL that just exploded. I had like a $400,000 profit month
Damn.
at 27
On foot insoles?
on foot insoles.
Wow.
And I split it with my partner, so I got 200 grand, they got 200 grand, and I took that straight to the McLaren dealership, bought myself a McLaren,
Someone's got to buy it.
and then I was like, yeah, I got my dream car. That was a huge deal for me, right? That was it.
What was it? A 720S?
It was a 570S,
570S. That's a classic.
classic, beginner fucking
Yeah,
car. Like,
yeah.
love it. So I was super stoked on that, and then crypto started booming, and my next goal was to be a millionaire, and I was like, okay, and then I made like 100 something grand the next month, and I put that in crypto, and it just like shot up really fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing with my money in this car? So sell the McLaren, flash sale it.
Yeah.
Right? I finally get my dream car. 3 weeks later, I fucking sell it.
No way.
Crypto, exactly.
Did you buy it new?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't new. No, I paid 180 grand for it. It wasn't new. But
Okay.
it was,
I think it wasn't new.
yeah, it was, I sold it for like 135.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like a flash sale
I did not-
to get in the money, because I wanted the cash immediately.
Yeah.
And I threw it in, and then I had like, 300 grand in the market or something close to that, and then it just explodes immediately, right? As soon as I got that wire in, the fucking market just, I put it all in like sell lumens, and it went from like 22 cents to 88 cents.
Damn.
And next thing I know, I had like 1.5 million. It was funny because I went to go see my parents for Christmas. The story on that specific run was that everyone was booming. Everyone went home for Christmas,
Yeah.
and everybody else bought after Christmas.
Yeah.
So I remember going back to my parents' house for Christmas in the basement, and I'm looking at my phone, the basement that I used to struggle
That's
in,
insane.
and then I refreshed and I became a millionaire for the first time,
Wow.
which was insane. I was like a moment. I
Wow.
was like, bro, I just visualized in this fucking basement.
Yeah.
That you're millionaire. This is insane. And then it just kept going up to 1.5, and my goal with selling the car, I was like, I'm going to quadruple the money and get a fucking 720.
Yeah.
Right? That was the plan.
Interesting.
For Bugatti or whatever. And then I was just like, nah. And then I ride it all the way down to 300 grand.
Yeah.
And then pull it out. Yeah.
And that's the thing. And what I realized about like making money in like crypto, there's something very different about it. Borderline feels like, like people get deeply addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
They're making a ton of money, but there's something about that making money off of money so easily.
Yeah.
It's just a different feeling, and it's like super addicting. And it kind of like,
Oh, it's very.
I hate to say it, even puts like actually making money like
Yeah.
with your own
What am I
stuff
doing?
a different way. It's like, fuck, actually,
Stop working.
yeah,
Making so much money in crypto. Imagine if I spent 24/7 doing crypto.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It just, no.
That allure is intoxicating.
It's actually the opposite helps you be better at crypto. Not looking at it at all.
Yeah.
Thinking about it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is intoxicating. You're refreshing like crazy. We would be at the bar, and I have like my 800 grand in my little account. They were refreshing it. Every time I refresh, it goes up or down.
Yeah.
55 grand. And we're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I got addicted to the 1 minute candles there in 2022.
Oh, really?
I was just like sitting at the computer. I'm like, fuck, should I sell? Nope, it's going up, Nope.
Did you see that candle? Oh my God. It's like, yeah, there's always a, yeah,
I think it's a reversal.
yeah, that's it, but it's just, that's the skill set that isn't the skill set, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the challenges with getting rips in crypto is you don't actually get any dope skills that I think you can apply to restaurant.
That's the issue. And especially like once you get a taste of that, you don't want to do anything else.
No.
Like you don't really, and if you lose it, it's like, oh shit. Like I just spent like the past 4 years of my life making all this money, but then I lost it on like a bad call, and I don't really have any skills to show for it.
Yeah.
That's the big issue with the heavy crypto thing.
Yeah.
So let me get back to 2022. So when that crash happened, what happened? What happened to you that year?
Oh yeah. So I just, right. I had gotten up to like $6 million, and then Drove it all down to 300 grand.
Oh my God!
Right.
Holy fuck! Holy fuck!
Living in a hotel,
Oh,
no team, no product, no business, no anything.
and you went all in
Right.
with the money you made from the sell.
Yeah, I dumped it all in.
Wow.
Right, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even buy my dream watch. I saw my fucking dream watch. It was like, when I first heard about it, it was like 40 grand. I didn't even afford it back then. And then I saw it like a while before, and it was like 80 grand. I'm like, fuck. And then I see it, it's such a rare watch, and I see it,
What was it?
and it was like a royal oak, a blue face, rose gold, royal oak with a blue shroud.
I know the exact one. I
Yeah.
saw it yesterday, actually.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right. And I see it in this window in Stockholm, Sweden. And I walk in, it's like 109 grand now. I'm like, this, but like, I remember because I was like, this is, right, the watch that emphasizes the work that I put in.
Yeah.
I was like, but I could dump it all in crypto and make way more than this. Like, just let it go, and then, choo, drives down.
Yeah.
Right. So I ended up selling everything at like 300 grand because it wasn't turning out at all well. And I was like, fuck. Because by this time I had really committed my life to God and God's plan, because a lot of this, we didn't really talk about it, but a lot of the magical moments of meeting my business partner and going on this win streak with the skincare brand I had, where it was just like this positive vortex of energy where the best things were falling into my lap effortlessly, and I was just stumbling upon awesome things. It was like almost like the universe was just, the stars were aligning.
Yeah.
You know, what's the deal with stars aligning in your life? So by then I was really big, like God's plan kind of guy. Because after I sold my skincare brand, I went into ayahuasca. I was like, I work for you, God.
Yeah, that'll do it. I'll do it.
That was it. So I go to this park and I'm like looking at the sky. I'm like, yo, what? I got to talk to God real quick, right? What's the deal? I thought, you know, you and I both know I can do way more with my life when I'm super rich. Like I could be fucking great at helping you do cool stuff, but broke, not really, right? Not as much. So what's the deal? Are we still doing this? And I just hear this voice back. He's like, yeah, you're fine. I'm not really that fine. I don't know if you're up to date on the situation, but this isn't doing too hot. And he's like, you're good, bro. You're fine. Like, really? He's like, yeah, everything's going fine. You're fine. Okay. I guess it's fine, right? Even though like it just fucked, right, by the day.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, there's only one way I can get out of this situation, right? Because I don't want to start a business. It just manifested. That was it. Because I didn't share. The last book I read before my life took off was this book called Conversation with God.
Oh, I've heard this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last month. I read $200. The last one. Think about what's the last book you would read. Like, what's the last idea you would have to learn before your life really took off? It exploded.
Mhm.
And everything started coming together. And for me, it was Conversation with God, which is, if you haven't heard about it, it's a story about an old man who breaks his neck, gets pissed off, looks at this guy, and he's like, fuck you, God. And he's like, why does life always have to be a struggle? And you just really want to hear an answer to that. And in this book, they're talking about how, you know, they told us that God is this big thing outside in the sky that decides whether or not some people are lucky, and you're this kind of sinner that is fucking broken, and blah, 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 blah. It's just the worst affirmations you could say to yourself. But in reality is that God lives, there's this God energy that lives in all of us. Like this soul that we have, the spirit that we have, lives in all of us. It lives in our imagination, and it comes with this weird side effect of the law of attraction, of creation, which is weird. Like a magnet, right? And when I was failing over and over as a business guy, I couldn't get stuff to work. It was almost like I was a magnet that was, and but my goals were the opposite magnet, right? So as soon as I would get close to it, it would bounce away.
Yeah.
Every time I would get, it would bounce away. It was this weird fucking energy. And if you ever experience something like that, where you just get close to something you're working toward, and then it just falls apart inside,
Yeah.
and it just pushes away.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting into. And he's talking about how, you know, whatever you manifest in life, whatever you're attracting in life, is always equal to what you believe is true at the root level
100%.
of who you are.
Yeah.
Right? And my root level was, I want to be rich. I want to be a rich guy. But at the root, what that actually means is I'm not rich. I'm not successful.
Mhm.
That's why I want to be it.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
The root is actually you don't have it. So life is constantly giving me over and over again what I'm asking for, which is I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it.
Mhm.
I don't have it. I want this. I want that. And then God is like, okay, I'll make sure you don't have it. The second you get close to it, boom, I'm going to throw it away from you.
Mhm.
And that's what was happening to me over and over again. And the pivot was like, you know, you're waiting, you want to be a rich guy, and you're waiting for reality to make you rich for you to decide that you're a rich guy,
Yeah.
right? You're letting your 3D world determine who you are. You're letting your environment determine what you're saying about yourself. And it was just like, the pivot was close your eyes and just say, I'm a fucking rich guy. You know what? This is who I've always been. This is the energy. I'm a super successful, badass entrepreneur. I'm just trapped in this broke guy's body, living in this piece of shit house with cockroaches running around. Right?
Right.
But in reality, I'm a super successful fucking rich guy that drives Lambos, that lives in dope houses, that like has this amazing life. And it was like, I was just waiting. It was like there were two different people. And I was so hooked on being this other guy that I just decided to give up on being that guy.
Right.
It's almost like they call it taking a spiritual fast, when you just don't ever say any one of those words to yourself again about this, how you think reality is or who you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just completely developing a new version of yourself and beginning to imagine and picture yourself living as this guy now and ultimately feeling like it's you have it now.
Right. It's like
Feeling the energy
thinking
happens
versus
now.
feeling.
Yeah, it's everything that you get is a reflection of how you feel on the inside. It's like this life is a game of boomerangs. You're putting out energy and you're getting energy back.
Yeah.
The universe, most people, they can't see the correlation between them being a negative douchebag and some terrible thing happening to them because it's a 2-week gap in between those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can't put the pieces together. But you're attracting everything in your life because you have this spirit of God inside of you that creates your reality. The law of attraction is real. He who hath shall be given more. He who hath not, whatever he does have will be taken away. I mean, this is all spread throughout the Bible.
Yeah.
Deep kind of way, right? And that worked for me really well. That was it. I just started to imagine that I am rich, right? They say, right, heaven is a place within you. It's learning to radiate this feeling of heavenly energy, which is heavenly energy is the feeling of every wish you've ever had now coming true. If you want to get results nobody else can do, you got to do something nobody else can do. Right? And let me tell you, nobody can fucking radiate the energy of having everything they've always desired before it happens. They're all waiting to be happy when this happens. They're all waiting to feel successful when that happens. It's all these 3D realities that are telling you what it's to be like, but what you get in life is what you are obsessively thinking about over and over again, and what you're feeling on the root level of what's true. And that's what I started doing. I was able to get past my subconscious block that was like, that's bullshit. You're not,
Yeah.
bro. Because that's everybody's root cause of the problem that struggles with this is now they're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Am I just supposed to say that everything's fucking great and the life's taking off and I'm making $1,000 a day? Am I just supposed to fucking fake that shit? And that stops them. But the reality is, there's two parts of them. There is a version of them today which isn't experiencing this, and then there's a version of them in the future which is experiencing this. And your problem is that you're so focused on this old fucking version of you, and you're not focused at all on the winning version. It's not even your problem, it's your subconscious is doing it. It's refusing to pay attention to the life where you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And absorbing that life and beginning to what I call open up the spiritual umbrella. You know, when you're outside and it's raining and you put an umbrella up and now you're dry and you're safe. Well, in reality, when life's raining on you and things aren't doing well and your business isn't working, what you do is you stop soaking in the fucking shitty life and you open your spiritual umbrella and you create this new vision above you of life's fucking amazing. Business is booming and you're focused on this new reality of like, I'm in the best shape, wildly disciplined. My business is taking off. I'm making $1,000 a day easily. And you begin to start feeling this energy of the wish fulfilled. And that's when the positive vortex happens. And that's when the magnet is now like God goes, okay, you are making $1,000 a day, right? And you start to sit in that energy and then you begin to attract yourself to that. So that fucking worked for me when I was on my friend's floor and I went on this insane run of meeting the mentors and just life exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And then that worked for me again. When I left my mentors, I went on a losing streak for like 8 months where it was like a mediocre streak where I couldn't crack anything big. And then I pivoted again this mindset of being this badass brand owner, this badass guy. And then the universe came together and she just fell in my lap. And like all this fucking shit just aligned for the universe where this brand just took off, right? And then here I was again, just drove my business, just lost all my money.
Right.
Here I am again, another fucking manifest situation, right? And I go, what do I have to manifest? A mentor who's a business partner. It's the only way to get out of this. So what's the energy of a business partner who's a mentor? What's the energy of the biggest opportunity falling in your lap? Right? It's just this like amazing excitement, stoked out of your mind. I'm so fucking blessed. This is so amazing. So here I am. You know that meme where the guy's sitting there? He's like, this is fine. The whole house is on fire.
Yeah.
That's exactly the situation. right? That's the only thing you do. What else could possibly work? But beginning to pivot your vision of yourself and the reality that you're having and not letting yourself get down. You know what doesn't work? It's getting down about it, putting out bad energy about it.
Yeah.
Right? It's just soaking in something amazing is about to happen. And I just started feeling this. It was just every single day. I would go to the library, I'd restudy Neville Goddard over and over again, and I'd focus on feeling is the secret, right? Feeling, if you felt amazing, that means you believed it's true. If you can't feel amazing, that means at the root level, you don't believe it's possible.
Right.
Or it's happening. And that's what you manifest that way. So your emotions is this like lie detector test.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a universal lie detector test.
Great point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, do you really fucking think that you're rich?
Right.
And you're just not feeling anything? You know, but there's a difference between like, because it's the day when you get rich, you're really excited, and then you go on to this like base level energy.
Yeah.
Right. And that base level energy is what we're focusing on creating, which is just like this feeling of wholeness and fulfillment and just fucking gratefulness. And thank you for this amazing thing. And then, of course, the energy is great, but what you attract again is whatever's in your imagination. Because your imagination is the part where that really creates the specifics of reality. So, bro, I just started doing that over and over and over again. And then 2 weeks later, I go on a boat trip to Croatia and I meet this guy who owns Mind Valley. They were doing webinars. Webinars sucked. And I had a very specific skill set, video sales letters. And I need very specific things. I need world-class authority figures. I need dope fucking offers. I need a badass media buying team. And I need fucking a way to make a ton of money. And this was everything I'd ever asked for, right? All these badass authors, famous people, all of this world-class video production, all this badass media buying team. They're doing huge numbers on webinars before. Webinars dying. It was a playground for me. It was like God built this place for me.
Wow.
Which is why I'm so fucking stoked on God, because it keeps working like the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Bro, there's no better case scenario that you could ever hit for your life than following God's plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I don't understand how people can even believe that there is no God. Because I think the perspective of God is interesting. I was having this argument a while ago. They're like, well, how do you know God is real? I'm like, I believe God is in all life.
Yes.
And so when I see life, I see God. I don't need to believe God's real because I see it. Like, I know He's real, among other reasons. But bringing it back to what you said about that one guy, or hypothetical guy, we're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Like, just pretend like I'm happy? Well, it's like, if you keep feeling like you're happy and then you eventually start to feel happy, that becomes the truth. You know, what's going on in your mind is your truth. And when you said about the feelings being the lie detector test is amazing, because that's the ultimate truth. It's like, okay, maybe things in your life aren't going well, but if you feel as if they are, then it becomes the truth, and then that energy is output, and then it's like a magnet put in. But if you have those like evilness, one thing I realized, real can recognize real, the fake cannot differentiate. So if you are real with yourself and authentic, you can see through that. But if not, you don't know the difference. So when it comes to that energy, like my whole concept of that I've learned in the past year is called the energy of excellence. It's like the way that you attract excellence is you be excellent, but excellent in mind, body, and spirit, everything you do. You know, if you're going to have a workout, this is something interesting I noticed because it's in nature. If you have an excellent diet and you work out excellently, the output's an excellent body. And I've realized something interesting. I'll go to the gym and I don't want to work out that day, but I work out every day no matter what. And I'll get there and I'm like kind of sluggish. But I know if I do one set excellently, that energy is then charged within me. And then all of a sudden I have excellent energy.
Yeah.
And I realize the more things I do excellently, the more excellence that comes my way. And then money, I don't do it for the money, but I notice that money's naturally attracted to the more excellence. Like the better artist, the better businessman always attracts more money. The better the house, it costs more money. So it's like this money is attracted to the more excellence. And if you just keep that perpetual motion of keeping within the energy of excellence in as many things as you can, so if your body gets charged up with it, the more charged up, the more excellence. And it's this snowball effect.
Yeah. Yeah, your subconscious mind's always watching you.
Always.
Right? And it builds off. When you do those little tasks, when you do them phenomenally, it enhances your self-talk.
Yeah.
Yourself. I'm a gangster. That was dope as fuck. Right? That was great.
Yeah. That was the first thing you said when I pulled up. I said, what's
Gangster.
up, gangster?
Like it, bro. It's a good vibe. I love those. I love the car.
Yeah. But so that's interesting. So a boat trip changed everything around after you had that revelation once again.
That was
And then you started doing VSLs from Mind Valley and took it to another level.
yeah, I was sleeping in hotels. I was like, bro, I'm sick of sleeping in hotels. Where do you live? I live in Estonia. I was like, I'm gonna go sleep at your house. I was just inviting myself to their couches, sleep on people's couches. Which, by the way, is the coolest part about traveling. It is not living in hotels. It is sleeping on your friend's couches.
Yep.
It's the best.
100%.
Just
100%.
all over the world, all these different couches. It's so fun, and people love it too.
Yeah, because I used to be all about. I had a thing when I first started like making money drop shipping. I called lit Airbnbs only.
Okay.
Because like all I wanted to as a kid was like my parents. I have three brothers, and we'd always stay in these double queen like hotels. So
Yeah.
it's like when we travel, we never. But it was all about the lit Airbnbs only.
Yes.
And then I realized what's even better than lit Airbnbs only is like having friends with lit places, and
Yeah.
then you stay with them because it's like you get to a new town and you pull up to this house. It's great, but it's just like you and maybe someone else.
Yeah.
Ideally, someone else.
Exactly.
But when you get there and you're with someone who lives there, it's just a whole different experience. And
Yeah.
then you get to meet all them. You're around all the people that come around them, and it's
Yeah.
just like that's where it's at. So yeah, I love that as well. And so basically, you just took off on Mind Valley, and then
That was it. Then I learned the big lesson. Yeah. It was so funny. I mean, with the money thing, I remember going to Vision's house and I was like, yo, bro, what's your Wi-Fi password? He's like, oh, it's $10 billion.
yeah,
$10 billion. My Wi-Fi password's $170 million. How much equity would I need to have in Mind Valley to make $170 million if they were worth $10 billion? That's like 1.7%. It's like, holy shit, you do not need a lot of points on the board when you're working with these big companies
yeah,
to break it in.
yeah.
And I was like, yo, bro, I'll do this deal. I'll build out this whole department for you if we do this X deal. And he's like, sure. And bada boom, we were back in business. It was insane.
Wow.
And then 6 months later, things explode, and I realized why I lost the money. That shit was so fucking hard to pull off that if I had money, I would give up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. God needed me to do this deed for the world to help blow the mind out of the fuck up to another level. And he has to take my money away so that I can do it.
Yeah.
Which is the sickest story, because if when you're on God's plan, only good things happen.
Yeah.
Right? You could lose everything, but that's exactly where you're supposed to be. It has nothing to do with how good things are, and everything to do with whether you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Trusting in the plan,
Trusting the plan. That was it.
not
So,
fighting it.
That was it. You know, I had some huge campaigns. One of them became one of the biggest ads on YouTube in the world. Where Monster is this Jose Silva Ultramind video of this story. It's like Helen Hansel was able to win any lottery ticket, competition she took part in, and was just selling this course on like the Silva Ultramind method.
Interesting.
And that one blew up. I made like 32 like documentaries basically every year, so it was just cranking out content left and right. And that one blew up, and then automated everything. And but I'm like, I believe in ultra abundance. That's for sure, right? So here's what I believe. I believe that working with God is better than being the greatest businessman, right?
Definitely.
That's the whole thing. Following God's plan is like the best thing you could possibly do, 100%. But that's a big claim, right? So for me to be ripping those kind of ideas and really getting people, the best thing I could do in my life for sure is getting people on God's plan. That is hands down the most valuable thing I could ever do for somebody, is get them to learn how to visualize and learn how to create their reality in their mind, learn how to, control the God within them and be guided towards their ultimate life's purpose, which is going to fulfill them and give them the coolest life ever.
Yeah.
Essentially it. And in order to do that, I must be a leader. The biggest lesson I learned in copywriting and advertising was authority. And nobody's going to listen to you unless you have what they want. It's like step one for any big VSL is you must have an authority figure worth speaking about this topic. So for me, I must be a world-class authority figure, which means I must stack as much fucking money as possible, right? I must build just a unicorn of a company and take humongous, ginormous exits and build this unbelievably phenomenal, over-the-top, world-class life so that I can really be a good role model for how powerful this shit is, right? Yeah, this cool house in the car is great. I love it. It's phenomenal. But it's really so that people just fucking listen.
That's the truth right there.
That's it, bro. Didn't have this place, they wouldn't listen. I wouldn't listen back then. Why should I fucking listen to you?
That's the truth right there.
That's it.
That's the unfortunate truth. But it's like it kind of is a way for people to decipher.
It is.
essentially. Because if everybody's in a black room, it's like, who am I going to listen to?
Yeah.
Unless they already recognize who that person is. Like if it's Elon Musk, of course, because I know he sold all of his houses and everything.
Elon Musk is such a gangster.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God for Elon Musk.
Did you get a story of him buying Twitter? Right.
Yeah.
Of him this. I just learned about this recently, where it was like, you know, downtown San Francisco, it's all like a zombie apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Right?
So,
There's the mindset of whatever's going on in San Francisco is causing this like fucking mind virus. Like in downtown San Francisco is like, I think Tenderloin is like the perfect example of the challenges that happen.
mm-hmm.
Well, Twitter is located there, and all of those fucking crazy ass people have this megaphone of Twitter. And Elon thought that this was some corrupt bullshit that was spreading across the world, and he had to buy it.
It was. Definitely was.
It was insane. So he's such a gangster.
I know he's lost like 20 billion on it so far. He does not give a fuck.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. He's got a purpose so fucking big.
Exactly. That's what I love more than anything is seeing somebody do something not for the money, but on a large scale. Like I consider Joe Rogan the most successful person that I know in the world, because everything he does every day, he makes a lot of money doing, but he would do even if the money was cut off right now. Like he would still host UFC, he would still do comedy, he'd still do podcasts. And I think that is so beautiful, especially like seeing someone like, for example, Enzo Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like they lost all their money creating the perfect car, and by the time he created the perfect car, he was super bankrupt. And I think that is like borderline touching like purpose of life is doing something to the greatest ability possible, tying it into the energy of excellence, just doing it for the best outcome possible,
Yeah.
not necessarily just for the best profit possible.
Yeah, there's different chapters of people's lives that they're in. Some people have to, or literally being called to stack as much abundance and resources as possible. That like literally the point of this chapter of their life is just maximum preparation for the bigger plan.
Right.
You know, but it's all preparing for a huge plan. Like I'm like, even all the stuff that we're gaining and all these business moves we're making now. Yeah, it's about changing people and having be a good role model to them. But that's only a piece of my life, is being someone who's influential. The other piece is being a world-class creator,
Yeah.
right? Like assembling the dopest teams on the planet and working on building the coolest products on the planet, which is the way that I like to have.
Right.
Right? Building, stopping, teaching, back to building,
Right.
right? That kind of stuff.
And that's an interesting way to put it, because stacking as much money and resources as possible for when God's plan comes in again. It's like you're called to do this.
Yes.
You're prepared. Like Elon was prepared. He had, he was with like 230 billion at the time. It's like, I think I need to save free speech. I'm gonna put 44 billion into this, even though I'll probably lose money in it. But he doesn't care, and that's what I just love, dude. Like, love someone who doesn't care about even losing. I forgot the part. Doesn't even think about the money. Remember when he was telling, like, he goes, Disney, don't fucking advertise if you don't want to see, like, because all these advertisers were giving him pressure to like censor this, and he goes, just don't fucking advertise. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking
There
about.
you go. Exactly. Don't advertise, bro. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, no, everyone is fucking super special. Everyone has an amazing purpose for them. And if they talk to God and find out what is it for, God can guide them to the direction to make it happen. And if they believe in it, bro, if they hold the faith and they're able to feel the feeling of having it now, which is, because you either, one of my favorite quotes is, I don't care how successful you are, everybody is asleep to the next level of their life.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Great.
Everyone is like a snake that has a skin to shed.
Yeah.
Right? Most people can't see it. I was literally just on a phone call with this kid yesterday. He was one of my VSL students from a year ago. He's like, remember when you talked to me last time? And I said I was going to make $1 million profit a month. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I did it.
Wow.
I'm like, holy shit. But he's like, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm like, it's been really comfortable for the past 6 months. I don't really know what's going on. And he's fucking 20.
Oh my God.
He's 20. He's got like a super young face. He's skinny. He's like 130 pounds. He's like, and I'm like, bro, how did you get fucking Amex cards to do this? Like, I don't believe it. But that kind of trajectory, he's very special. And I'm just like diving into his goals and his dreams. Because again, he's asleep for the next chapter of his life.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm feeling lazy. There are no lazy people. There's just people with lousy goals.
Yep.
And a lousy goals is just someone who's asleep to their fucking life's purpose for this next chapter of life, which happens because you go through a phase, you finish it, and then what do you do next?
Well, yeah, that's what's so important about knowing goals beyond money. Because if you chase strictly money and then you get all this money, then the now what always comes, and you're like, fuck, I didn't spend any time the past like couple of years even thinking about what I can do with this money. I just wanted the money. You buy the, you buy the stuff you want, and then you're like, well, what can I be doing on a daily basis?
It's a solid next calling for your next evolution is what that feeling is. It's like you're being called to the next highest level.
That's a scary feeling too, because you got to step out of your current level to do it.
Yeah, I mean, this whole business that we're doing now, I just got a calling to stack insane wealth.
Yeah.
That was it. And the guy was, you stack insane wealth, and then I'll tell you what to do next.
Yeah.
That was it.
And this is a genius.
This is genius. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So I was praying for a sign. I was praying for a way to fucking undoubtedly prove that this is the dopest plan ever, following God's light. Because I had used this to get myself out of the situation, to do another crazy crypto run, right? I never give up on crypto, right? I always gotta have one fucking stupid play going on.
Yeah.
And just for the degenerate side of me, and then manifesting my soulmate, and then it was like, if anything's possible, with God all things are possible. I am a warrior for God. I show up for God as a jacked, juicy, lean, mean, fucking gangster ass machine that God can use to do some dope shit.
Yep.
Right? I'm a real rock solid angel for the Lord. You can say.
Yeah.
I call warrior for God. And with God, all things are possible. So let's fucking really, because God knows I like the bouginess, right? I like the jets, I like the Lambos, I like Bugattis. The Bugatti and jet is really just taking a stand for having the absolute greatest that life has to offer, nothing less. That's really what I stand for.
Yeah.
It's just like, I am getting the best that life has to offer, right?
Yeah.
That's my floor.
Yeah.
That's the bottom, right? Is the best. And I didn't put those desires in me. God put those desires in me. That's why God put all the desires into you, right? And where was I going with this story? Oh yeah, so I was praying for a fucking thing. Like, let's do it. If anything's possible, can we build a unicorn company? Like, and again, I had to start doing that thing of assuming the feeling of having this crazy idea and this opportunity. And then soon enough, things popped in. Okay. And then it was so funny. I had my, a year later, my CTO is talking about, what do we do next after this business? What's going to happen next? I'm like, I don't know. God just told us to get super rich and we'll figure it out next. He's like, well, I want to know what we're going to do next. Like, all right. I'll go talk to God. I'll ask him, what was the point of making shitloads of money? Right? What are we doing with all this stuff? And I go and I do this big meditation, just focusing on like, make it clear to see. Thank you for making the signs clear and easy to see for exactly what I'm supposed to do in my life. And was focusing on this. And then it's just like, to prove this shit works. It was back to it. I was like, holy fuck, I forgot. It's been a year, right? I just forgot.
That makes sense.
Because I didn't even want to know. I was like, I don't want to know what God wanted me to do next because I don't want to be distracted.
Yeah.
Right? I want to stay focused. And then he was like, you're supposed to fucking prove this shit works, bro. Which means you're supposed to be a gangster at all this manifestation stuff.
Yeah.
Which means get back into the fucking books and get deep into understanding how this stuff works again.
Yeah.
So that you can be a gangster role model.
Yeah.
I'm just so crazy because I was like, I don't want to know. I don't be distracted. But this is really the most. And then through this process, I'm beginning to, again, transform again. Another fucking identity shift, right? I had this big picture of a jet, me and my girlfriend riding on it downstairs in my bedroom that I see. And I was looking at this thing, and I was like, this fucking future version of me was flying around on jets, right? Easily making $50,000 profit every single day. It's probably how much you need to make if you want to be easily flying on jets all the time, right? You're doing like $1.5 million a month, easily and consistently. There's like fucking 120 grand a month for private jet travel. Right.
Yeah.
Right? Easily.
It's allocation.
Allocation, right? Easily doing that for taxes. That's probably what you need to make, right? So, and I was like, as I'm studying this manifestation stuff, I'm seeing it again. I'm like, oh, you fuck it. I'm doing it again, right? I've made that future version of me separate than me. I've been waiting for me to start saying that's me. And it's just, let's do this again. I know, I've seen the fucking patterns here. I've got the patterns down. I've got enough time, and then I'm just starting to soak it in. I am making $50,000 profit every single day. My product is fucking mind-blowingly amazing to anyone who sees it, and instantly they see the value, and instantly they recognize it. I have 250,000 people paying us $50 a month, right? This company does $8 million a month easily and consistently. It's a fucking unicorn, right? Just holding that kind of energy. We're traveling all over the world and doing the biggest deals, and just beginning to hold that, right?
Yeah.
Because before I had been pushing myself and things were hard, and it was just like, again, back to the magnet thing.
Yeah.
The craziest part is you change your identity in the magnet is a new magnet now, and you attract the things that you're looking for, but there's another level you're asleep to that is repelled by who you are, even as you just level.
Yep.
Right? It's this endless fucking evolution. And you have to come back to manifestation in order to change it.
Yeah. Like I remember when I was driving to work in a busser, I remember I saw that's when the i8 came out. And I remember, like me personally, like even the word manifestation, I try to avoid because it kind of separates reality from my thoughts.
Yeah.
So it's like I always go straight to feel. So I always picture feeling. But I have one specific story about before when I was telling you earlier, like I moved out here to be an Uber driver, and I just started trying drop shipping. I wasn't making any money. I was renting a room from my brother's friend, and he just built this like gorgeous home. And he was only charging me like $300 a month, but it was like a brand new home. And I hosted my 10-year grade school or 8-year grade school reunion. So I'd seen these kids in like 8 years, and they're coming in and they're like, "Wow, like what do you do? What do you do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do e-commerce." And I kept saying this, like, "Yeah, I do e-commerce. I do e-commerce," which was true. But it wasn't my house,
Right.
and I wasn't making any money from it.
Yeah.
I just do e-commerce. And I remember my friend Brandon being like, no, he doesn't. He works at Napoli. He's just trying it. But what he didn't understand was I was already like placing myself there. Not even like, I was already feeling it as if it was. And then 2 months later, and I think it's probably tied to that fucking voice I was telling you about that kept speaking to me. Like, I kind of think like when you start to feel that, if the parallel universe theory is true and like you're constantly transversing or whatever, when you're feeling that, your intuition is programmed. Like I call that programming intuition. And it's kind of like that version of you that you're feeling is pulling you towards that reality, and you shift into that.
Yeah.
Essentially. So like I knew from a very early age, it's like it's so important to feel it as if it's reality and put no separation between you and it. Not even like faking it, but like actually feeling it.
Yes. 100%. No, that is the key.
And it works.
Absolutely.
It works. It works every time.
I mean, I didn't want to be into this, bro. It just works better than fucking copywriting
Yeah.
for making money.
Yeah.
This part of the stars aligning.
And that's the interesting thing, right? It's like what you think would work and then you then feel as if you feel the person you want to be. You kind of got to let go of what you think will work to get there. And then you just kind of feel. It's like that thinking and feeling. I think thinking's the brain, feeling's the soul.
Yeah.
When you let your soul speak, man, it takes you right to where you're feeling.
Amen to that, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think I don't know how long we've been going, but we've been going a while right now. Before we go, I just want to cover Genius.ai and like what you're doing over there with that.
Yeah, so Genius.ai is an AI platform that makes it really easy for network marketers and affiliate marketers to start to build their brand and promote their products. So we are partnering with, we're launching with a company called ClickBank this week.
Amazing.
Which is a huge company.
Yeah.
So super dope. We finally, because we were able to scale up, got our price down to like $19 a month. So it's super affordable for the average person who isn't making any money and wants to start selling stuff. And we're training the AI on all of ClickBank's products. So this AI knows all about what you have to do. And a ClickBank affiliate's job is really easy. It's just they have to make content that inspires someone to click their link and watch the VSL on the ClickBank offer.
Yeah.
And then buy. And that's what I was doing for many years. So with an AI that's trained on your offers, it's really we made it so push button simple to like come up with endless different angles. The AI will make the video for you now. So it'll show you what angles, it'll give you different ideas per angle, and then it'll write scripts for you. But it's not just writing scripts, it's because I got this big swipe file of all the biggest leads. So behind the scenes, it's rewriting some of the biggest campaigns for you. So every script that you get is like proven to be a banger, and it's super dope. And then you have two options. You can either hit a button and our AI will make the video for you, like kind of like just, it makes like, I don't know, 15 different mid-journey images and then puts transitions on them and adds the voice over them, glues it all together into a video, which is pretty cool. Or there's another button which creates a teleprompter so I can instantly read the script and have a teleprompter on my phone.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I get a script, boom, film myself, done, video in. And I can just crank out content left and right with this. So that's the affiliate world. And then for the network marketing world, we have a specific other mechanism, which we train the AI on you. We're doing this huge upgrade on it today, which is super dope. But this AI can now build your brand also, because you need help coming up with content every day on Instagram so that you can like get your brand out there. Because network marketing is like, you have to build a brand and then you're selling products. So it's just like coaches and stuff like that.
Right.
Doing like, you have to build yourself. You have to post dope content that helps people. gets them to like you. And you have to post content that gets people to want to know what you offer and to buy your stuff. And then you need to close those people in the DMs. So we're partnering with these big network marketing companies and just being the tool, just having them be the mothership, right? We're doing like these B2B strategies. So they kind of the mothership and they pass this down to all the people. You get, that's our onboarding strategy.
That's genius.
It's super cool.
Yeah, that's genius. I can't wait to see that develop. You said you're launching with ClickBank like next week.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a huge partnership right there.
Yeah, it's really big. Yeah, they have like 100,000. I just got back from Budapest. We were doing what we were closing all the 95% of the entire VSL market of affiliates that run VSLs is we have locked up with this. Right, which is
It makes sense why. I mean, that's an insanely powerful tool.
yeah. ClickBank has 100,000 affiliates, so just beginning to capture that market and showing them AI that can make it easier is dope. I mean, if you are looking to build a unicorn company, all you really need is like 250,000 people paying you $40 a month.
Yeah.
Right, and then it's way beyond $1 billion company
Yeah.
on AI tool.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Right. That's literally it. I mean, I had 250,000 women buy my fucking skincare products, so I was like, oh, if I do this on an AI tool,
Right.
it's worth more.
Yeah.
One of those things, but
Wow.
that's it. No, it's super great. And then just as you begin to hold the energy, more and more magical things it's just like stars align, which is crazy.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, man, thank you so much for coming out here.
Got it, bro. Thanks for having me.
It was great hearing everything from like your personal view. It's amazing, like the ups and downs. Like for you, it wasn't just straight up.
Yeah.
It's just stuff, but the lessons are learned on the downs, and
Yeah.
then like learning the lessons implemented on the ups is like amazing. So what a story, man.
Thank
I'm sure
you.
there's so much more that we didn't even cover.
Hey, that was dope. That was a dope one.
Absolutely. All right, see you guys.
See you.